Hi there. Do you find yourself repeatedly copying and pasting information from Google Sheets into Google Slide Deck? Maybe it's for client reporting, monthly or weekly reports, or QBRs. Well, there are a couple of approaches I want to share with you that can make your life much easier. Now, one of the things you may have heard about is using Google's linked objects to copy a chart or data table from your Google Sheet and copy that right into your Google Slide Deck. You can do this by linking to the spreadsheet. However, if you do link this using a linked object, there are some important limitations that you should be aware of. For one thing, you can only link charts and tables with multiple cell values. So for my example, the sales funnel, if I have a number of wins and the percent change that I want to link in from my Google spreadsheet, I can't just take the value from one cell using a linked object. I would have to copy multiple cell range into my presentation, which is actually not what I'm looking for. The other thing that's really difficult with linked objects is that you can't really copy the slide deck and replicate it for multiple different clients or multiple different categories, because every time you copy your Google slide deck, you have to set up the linked object again, because it's only linked to one specific Google Sheet. So to overcome some of those challenges, we recommend you check out Slideform. Slideform is an automation platform that looks like this, and it's built to easily pull data from one data source like Google Sheets into presentations, documents, and reports. And we can do this automatically across multiple clients and multiple data sources to truly automate your reporting from data source to the presentation. Let me show you how it works. So Slideform takes in 3 pieces of information. First of all, you do need your Google Sheet, or you can use a dashboard or some other source of data. In this example, I have a front page which has a bunch of charts, metrics that are rolled up, and data tables. I also have information about some of my recently closed deals that are laid out in a tabular form like this, with the different client logos also embedded in the Google Sheet. And we can pull all of this information into your presentation for any given account and index into this sheet by looking up the account name and looking up any of the information that you have in the sheet. The second piece of information that you need is actually your report. So here's a finished report that I'm going to use as an example for a specific client, and I need to pull in all of the information for the sales and accounts, and also the account details itself. So to do that, I would create a template for this report. Now the template will look like this. You're going to have placeholders on the slide deck that are enclosed in curly braces indicate where information is going to be pulled in. So for this page, we specifically want a data table that shows the new accounts. I select a shape, I have background here in gray, and I enter in a name for that data table. For text information that you can't use a linked object for, we can use text box just like this. We enter in the placeholder using the font size, bold, the font that we want, and even the color that we want that text to be, and it will be filled in that way in the final version. For a chart, we also create a shape that shows us how big that chart is going to be on the slide, and we put in a name in the placeholder. So this is the second piece, which is our slide deck template with placeholders for the information to fill in. The third piece is really the automation linkage inside of Slideform. So this is my Slideform account, and I have my report template loaded in, and I have it linked into my data. So when we go into configure the data, we're going to set up a mapping between our Google Sheet and our presentation template. To do that, for every placeholder in the template, we're going to see a blue box like this where you select the data source. We select which sheet and which column in the worksheet it's coming from, and then we can configure that in multiple ways so that we have an interactive drop-down for users to select which client they want. Or let's go on down here to the leads placeholder, which is going to be on slide 2. We can hard code it to pull in data from a specific cell inside of my Google Sheet. So for example, here, the leads information is in cell H10. It's always going to be pulled from H10 in that sheet. And what's really fun is that we can actually calculate information inside of Slideform that's not present in your Google Sheet. So to calculate the percent change in the number of leads from one time period to the next, all we have to do is enter in a formula here in Slideform to calculate that, subtracting the prior number of leads and dividing it. And we can actually output that as a percentage into your slide deck for you. So it's easy to set up an automation that pulls data directly from your data source into your slide deck, and it's easy to replicate that from multiple clients or categories or time periods. Then when you want to run your report, all you have to do is click Generate here inside of Slideform, and that output will be created for you. So we can take a look at that here in our Google Sheet output, or our Google Slides output, and you can see that all of the information has been filled in. We have our numbers of wins, trials, and leads filled in as a text box, and the chart from our Google Sheet is filled in automatically, as is the data table that's formatted in the Google Sheet. But perhaps what's the coolest of all is that when I select the client that I'm interested in, I'm able to look up all of this information from the Google Sheet and fill it in as a text box, which is still editable after the output is generated. So we have a completed output here ready to be shared with clients or across your internal team. And all of this is made possible by Slideform automation that's ready to pull in any information that you need. So get in touch with us over at slideform.co, and we're looking forward to hearing from you and helping to automate your reports. Thanks.